If someone had told me that I'd meet Jesus one day, I would have laughed in their face, but nothing could have prepared me for what happened when my heart stopped beating. One moment, I was surrounded by chaos and noise, beeping monitors, shouting voices, the metallic sting of hospital air. The next, I was outside my body, watching it all from above, frozen in disbelief. Then came the light, so powerful it pierced through the darkness like a blade, swallowing everything else. I couldn't move. I couldn't look away. That's when I saw him. I've always been the one who didn't fit in. As a kid, I asked too many questions about God, life, and everything adults seem so sure about. Why does the Bible matter? Why do we have to go to church? No one ever gave me answers that made sense. So I stopped asking and started deciding for myself. Things got even harder when I realized I was different. I didn't just feel out of place, I was out of place. When I came out as a lesbian, the rejection hit like a wave. Friends disappeared. Family members treated me like I was broken. And Christians? They were the worst. Instead of love, I got lectures, judgment, and cold shoulders. By the time I reached adulthood, I thought I had it all figured out. I didn't need a God who let people treat me like that. Faith was just a crutch for people too scared to face life head-on. I became proud of my independence, proud of being an atheist. The idea of forgiveness, especially from some higher power, felt laughable. But deep down, I think I was running from the question I was too afraid to ask. What if I'm wrong? It all happened so fast. One moment I was at home, sitting on the couch, trying to ignore the familiar ache of loneliness that had become my normal. And the next, I couldn't breathe. My chest tightened, my vision blurred, and I felt the world slipping away like sand between my fingers. I tried to scream, but no sound came. Everything went dark. When I opened my eyes again, I wasn't where I'd been. I was floating, weightless and detached. Below me, I saw my body slumped on the floor, pale and lifeless. The room was silent, but I could hear my own heartbeat pounding in my ears, like a distant drum fading away. Panic gripped me. Was I dead? What was happening? I wanted to move, to reach out to someone, but I was frozen, trapped in a sea of confusion and fear. Then came the light. At first, it was a pinpoint in the distance, growing brighter and brighter until it swallowed the darkness whole. It wasn't just light. It was alive, pulsing with warmth, and so powerful I couldn't look away. It filled every corner of the void, and in that moment, I felt small, exposed, like every secret I'd ever buried was being laid bare. That's when I saw him. He didn't look like the stained glass images from church or the solemn portraits in dusty old Bibles. No, this was something different. His presence was overwhelming, radiant, and undeniable. I knew, without a single word being spoken, that this was Jesus. And as his eyes met mine, I felt everything, every mistake, every doubt, every act of defiance, flooding back to me like a tidal wave. I wanted to run, to hide from the weight of my life, but there was nowhere to go. I could feel his gaze piercing through me, not with anger, but with something far worse, sorrow. I braced myself for judgment. Standing before him, every memory, every choice, every sharp word I had ever spoken against faith rushed back to me like a flood. I was certain he'd condemn me, that he'd list every reason I didn't deserve to be there. Instead, he looked at me with a love so profound it shattered every wall I'd ever built around my heart. I couldn't hold back anymore. Through the weight of shame, I managed to whisper, "How could you love someone like me?" I didn't expect an answer, but he didn't need words. Instead, he showed me. In an instant, my life unfolded before me like a film reel. I saw it all, the laughter, the tears, the moments I'd tried so hard to forget. There were the times I hurt others with my anger, the times I rejected people who reached out to me, and the countless times I denied him. But it wasn't just the bad. He showed me moments of quiet beauty, when I helped a stranger, when I loved without condition, when I fought for what I believed in. And through it all, his presence remained, unwavering, as if to say, "I was with you, even then." I felt exposed, vulnerable, but not in the way I'd feared. Instead of rejection, I felt a love so steady and overwhelming that it brought me to my knees. If I'd even had knees in that place. It wasn't a love that excused or ignored my flaws. It was a love that saw them, bore them, and yet refused to let them define me. Am I too far gone? I asked, barely able to lift my head. His response wasn't spoken, but I felt it deep within my soul, clear as any words could ever be. You were never too far. I had to know. The question burned inside me, louder than any fear or doubt. Can I be forgiven? As the words left my lips, I felt the weight of everything I'd carried my whole life pressing down on me. For a moment, the silence was unbearable. But then he smiled, not a smile that excused my mistakes or ignored them, but one that told me the answer had already been written long before I ever asked. It's already been done. The truth resonated through me, not in words, but in a way I could feel, deeper than anything I'd ever known. The weight lifted, and for the first time, I felt free, truly free. In an instant, I was back in my body. The harsh glare of hospital lights replaced the divine glow, and the beeping monitors brought me crashing back to reality. But I was different. My heart was different. Everything I built my life on, doubt, anger, independence, it felt small, like a shadow of who I was supposed to be. I don't have all the answers now, and honestly, I don't think I ever will. But what I do know is this: love and grace are real, and they're not reserved for the perfect or the faithful. They're for all of us, even those like me, who've spent a lifetime running from them. If you're watching this and you've ever wondered if you're too far gone, let me tell you, you're not. Jesus didn't meet me in a church or in prayer. He found me at my lowest, when I didn't even believe he existed. And if he could forgive me, I know he's reaching out to you too. The choice is yours. You can keep running like I did, or you can stop, turn around, and see that he's been waiting for you the whole time.